Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here. Snicky Snide.
Yeah, Hollywood, you know I love you more than what I should. Yeah, Hollywood, well kiss me good. Yeah, Hollywood, you know I love you.
So today I want to review yet another comic book film that has come out in 2013, and of course it is an anticipated one for many, considering the character that this movie is all about. Of course I'm talking about the newest addition to the X-Men film library from 20th Century Fox, Hugh Jackman starring in the sequel to X-Men Origins Wolverine, and to a degree another sequel to the X-Men story, The Wolverine. Now, of course, what happens in this movie is it takes place after X-Men The Last Stand. The big battle with the Brotherhood and the Phoenix is officially done, and of course we all know, if you've seen X-Men The Last Stand, what the end result was, especially for Logan, aka the Wolverine. He has now officially decided to drop the hero persona and go into the wilderness and just lay low and just not be bothered by anyone. But as always, when it comes to our favorite heroes, even our anti-heroes, the past catches up with them, and they still have a long road to take, and still have to try and do what they can to be a hero. And in this case, Wolverine is forced to go back to one of his places from his past, which is Japan, to meet an old friend of his who he actually saved during World War II and the bombing of Nagasaki. And through that, there's a whole process of a possibility to give Wolverine this peace that he has been seeking for a long, long time. Now, here's the thing about this film. X-Men Origins Wolverine, I understand why they made it. Wolverine is one of the most popular characters in the comic book world. He is up there with Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, what have you. But the problem is, when you take a look at X-Men Origins Wolverine and this new film, The Wolverine, alongside the X-Men franchises, there is something missing, and I don't know why. You take a look at Hugh Jackman. Here's a guy who plays Wolverine brilliantly. When he first was announced as playing Wolverine in the first X-Men film, way back in 2000, nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew if he could even act like Wolverine. But you want to know something? He wowed the fans. He now is Wolverine in film, and Hugh Jackman is now one of the most prestigious, most diverse actors in the business today. And especially when you see him in the X-Men films, you see emotion in Wolverine, you see compassion, you see fierceness, you even get wit from Wolverine. But then when you take a look at X-Men Origins Wolverine, and unfortunately, the Wolverine, where is all that personality? He's like a zombie. He barely has any depth, you don't see the passion or the fierceness anymore, and he really doesn't even have any humor either. He's like walking around like a mutant zombie. That is unfortunately what I got from the Wolverine. This movie was not good for me. It was one of those movies where you could literally leave the theater, take a dump, make yourself a sandwich, come back in, and know exactly where you left off and just pick it up where you left off. And that's exactly what happened to me, because unwillingly, I had to leave the theater 2 times, one 20 minutes into the movie, and one before the movie actually ended, because I had to take 2 very important business phone calls. And when I sat back down, I knew exactly what was going on, and I understood everything. It was like I didn't skip a beat. I don't like movies like that, because it just shows you how bland and simple they really are. There's very few comic book references in this movie as well. I mean, the whole concept of Wolverine going back to Japan in modern times after the 3rd X-Men film, he has a whole chapter of his life in Japan in the late 50s and 60s, I believe it was. And I even have the Logan comic books to prove it. And the fact that they just gave it into modern times, that just didn't really make sense to me, even though they threw out the 2 small comic book references that really were there, which was Mariko and the Silver Samurai. And again, the Silver Samurai was just so simple and stupid. I wish that there could have been a little bit more to that character as well. You really don't need it. It's not, I understand, I mean, let me be a bastard for once. I actually came and saw this movie just because I wanted to see that small segment that takes place during the credits, because as X-Men fans, we all know what's coming next summer. And we're all very excited as X-Men fans. But the fact that I only went to waste about 2 hours worth of my time just to see a 2 to 5 minute segment in the credits, well, I wouldn't be surprised if so many other people were feeling the same way as I did when I walked out of the theater. Even though I was hoping that it was going to be a good movie, because I love comic book movies. I love Hugh Jackman. And I really thought that the Wolverine was going to redeem the whole X-Men franchise, unfortunately due to a subpar third installment in the X-Men franchise, and a really bad X-Men Origins Wolverine film. But unfortunately, Wolverine didn't do it. There's really no purpose for this movie to even be seen. If you really want to, just go onto YouTube and find that scene that takes place between the credits. And do I intend on including this in my X-Men DVD/Blu-ray collection? Absolutely not. I'm just going to sit back and wait for the next X-Men film. And with that, I am giving the Wolverine 2 out of 4. And the question that I want to leave with you today, of course, is about X-Men Days of Future Past, the official sequel to X-Men First Class and sequel to X-Men The Last Stand, which I don't think has ever been done before. So, what are your thoughts on that film? It looks great. The fact that they managed to get a good portion of the X-Men cast, including Halle Berry, which I thought was going to be the toughest challenge, is amazing. Not too happy with the fact that Ben Foster, who played Angel in 3, is not in there, but that's another topic for another time. And I'm very excited because Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones is in this movie playing Boulevard Trask. But what are your thoughts on Days of Future Past? Are you excited? Do you think it's going to be a great movie? I think it is going to be. Take care, guys. Actions speak louder than words.